It's a blessing to preach to this community 2 weeks in a row, and then it's a double blessing to have Father Nicholas here. So this is part 2 of last week's homily. Now don't worry, if you weren't here, I'll get you up to speed. Besides, even those that were here may not have remembered what I said. Possibly. So last week, I was sharing with you how as a middle schooler, I had this paper route. And I would spend some of the money I made on Snickers bars and ding-dongs and all kinds of terrible candy. And so Lent was a time when I thought maybe I should give some of that up. And I told that story, not so that you remember, oh, McCormick had a paper route when he was a little kid, but to illustrate that as Catholics, we can kind of reduce Lent to what we are trying to do or what we shouldn't do. And my concern is that focuses Lent on me and my limited willpower and not on the gospel. And so my suggestion last week was to make this Lent a time when we turn our attention away from what we do or don't do and turn it towards following Jesus. Make him our King the focus of your life this Lent. And notice this Lent how he keeps coming to you. Learn to follow him this Lent. That was my message. And I pray to God that people left last Sunday remembering, yeah, I should follow Jesus, and not that I had a paper route when I was 12 or 13. And remember last Sunday, the gospel was about Jesus being tempted by the devil and how he overcame those temptations. And I suggested that the gospel last Sunday reveals to us that the one that we are to follow and focus on is the powerful one. The one who's more powerful than those forces that want to destroy our lives and world. He's more powerful than evil and death itself. And that's a really good reason to follow him, because he is the powerful one. Well, this Sunday, I think there's another reason that we're given to follow him. Why to devote our lives to him? Why should we walk after him and be with him and serve him? And it's found in this story of the Transfiguration. Because I think this story reveals something to us deep about Jesus' identity and about what it means for us to be his disciples, to follow him. So I want you to, if you're okay, close your eyes. Brian, don't fall asleep. Close your eyes, and I want you to imagine yourself walking up a dirt path with other people up to the top of a mountain. And when you get up there, it's this beautiful green field, and the sky is blue, there's a breeze. And if you look down from the mountaintop, you can see the Lake of Galilee. And suddenly standing before you is Jesus. He's really tall. And out of his face pours this light. Out of his clothes pours this light. And it's such beautiful, attractive, compelling light. You are just drawn to him. And then you notice that standing next to him is Moses and Elijah, and you realize you are in front of the Holy One. And all of a sudden it starts to get dark. You feel yourself immersed somehow in this massive cloud, but it's warm. It's bright. There's something incredibly beautiful about it and attractive. And the combination of how beautiful Jesus is and how attractive this cloud is, you just want to stay there. You feel filled with a life you've never known before. And the whole experience is overwhelming. You get on your knees and bow your head. And then you hear this voice echo out of the cloud right through you. This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him. And you feel those words echo inside of you. Now you open your eyes and you look, the cloud's gone. It's clear again, the mountain's quiet, and Jesus comes up to you. He touches your shoulder. He raises you up very tenderly and says, "Get up, do not be afraid." Open your eyes. I hope you were there. Hope you were there in that scene with the Lord. Now, I want to just kind of see if I can stretch your biblical imagination a little bit. Did you notice, by the way, how much in this scene Jesus acts like Moses? Just say yes. Yeah, good. Because remember Moses went up to the mountain, and here's Jesus going to the mountain. Remember when Moses went up to the mountain, he met God in a cloud, and here's Jesus meeting God in a cloud. And remember when Moses went up to the mountain, he came down, he had the divine sunburn, his face was shining, his clothes were shining. And what happens when Jesus goes up there? Light pours out of his face and clothes. Remember when Moses went up to the mountain, God spoke to him, and now here's God speaking to Jesus. What does this tell us about the one we are following? He is the new Moses. He is the one who will liberate us and the world and the cosmos from all that enslaves us. We are following the one who is not only powerful enough to defeat evil, he's the one who can free us and free our world and free all things from everything that is dehumanizing. He is the one who can free us so that we can be fully alive. And you notice how attractive this makes Jesus. You notice when Jesus goes to the mountain, everybody shows up. Moses shows up, Elijah shows up, Peter and James and John show up. Even God shows up. He's so attractive and compelling that everybody wants to be where he is. There's something irresistible, attractive about Jesus. Because he, in his power, in his ability to free us, is the beauty of God. He is divine beauty. And his attraction, what makes him attractive is, on the one hand, there's something overwhelming about him. There's something incredibly awesome about him. And yet there's something very tender. Did you notice how at the end of the scene, the Lord just comes up, everyone's gone, and he just puts his hand on the disciples and gently says, "Don't be afraid, get up." What makes him powerful and attractive and beautiful is that he is the overwhelming mystery of God, who is tenderly present to us as a human being. So my friends, this Lent, let us follow Jesus, because he is the powerful one. He is the one who can free us from whatever is tying us down, because he is so attractive and beautiful. And this is where we are invited to now finally do something. Now that we know who we're following, God tells us to do one thing. Doesn't tell us to give up ding-dongs and Snickers. God says, listen to him. Learn to listen to him. And you will discover in that listening that he is present to you, and that he is incredibly compelling and freeing and powerful, and that we get to live in him and with him and through him. Amen.